People still think of rugby and league as a game, and it's not a game, it's an industry, and it's the fact that people think it's a game that allow it to claim essentially a monopoly status. Professional sport professionalises the whole chain because it's now an industry, and in that chain, money becomes a driver. It used to be status, about representing a nation, now it's money. If you work as a rugby player, you have all sorts of restrictions on you as a worker that you don't have if you just work at the local store or factory, about where you can go and work. And this has always been a problem, that professional athletes actually have fewer working rights than most other workers, while the industry itself gets all these benefits and privileges. So if I ran a business and I said, hey, my business means that my 15 best employees are risking wrecking their knees, their shoulders, repeat concussions, would I ever be allowed to run that business when people knew 10 years down the line, half of them are going to have traumatic brain injury when they're 50? I would never be allowed to do that. And yet rugby is allowed to put its workers at incredible risk because of this commitment we have to it as a game. And I think the fact that Pacific workers carry all that risk disproportionately, not just to themselves and their emotional and personal well-being, but to their physical health, is really astonishing. And the time is coming where these industries can no longer hide from it forever. And we're seeing it in the NFL and elsewhere. The well-being of players needs to be put at the centre of everything they're doing in the industry. One of the things that's really troubling about rugby, league and union as an industry is most industries might have a particular effect on their workers. But league and union have an effect on those who want to be the workers but never quite get there. All those kids that spend 10 years of their life devoted to the idea they're going to get there and don't get there. I mean, if you want to be an accountant but you don't finish your accountancy degree and you just have a diploma, you've still gotten something out of that process. But in the union or league equivalent, what you have is not just broken dreams but broken bodies and often a broken spirit. And so there's something particular about the rugby industries that can be actively harmful even to those who aren't a part of the professional side of it. What about those kids that almost made it and didn't, and now walk with a limp when they're 22? And I think that's something that no one wants to claim responsibility for. It really revealed a lot to us when someone like Jason Taumalolo or Andrew Fafita chose to play for Tonga rather than Australia and New Zealand and were called traders or turncoats. No one ever called, for instance, Ofisa Tonu'u or Alama Yeremia a turncoat for playing for New Zealand. And so when you see a profound inequality that if it goes this way, it's fine, if it goes that way, you get called names, you know something else is at stake. And so I think rugby has to wake up to something that Pacific people have always known, that these lines we draw on a map are not the only lines that people think or live in. And so what they've actually done, I think, is show that thing that Pacific people know, that money and status are not what define people's life. And by choosing to play for Tonga, they made a difference in the lives of pretty much all Tongans. And that's something they're going to be incredibly proud of. And it's inspiring, and we've seen it's inspiring that lots of Samoan players are saying, man, I wish I'd done that. And the Samoan rugby players are saying, I'm going to do that too, because that's who I am. It means far more to me to give back to this nation, which has been treated in this way by the other rugby nations for decades. It's going to be a revolution.